I like 1v1ing versus a teammate in the mid lane. I think is a really good way to warm up, especially if you're a core player. If you're a support player, maybe not so much.
Practice that, Wardy.
Watching replays might be better.
Yeah,
while you're waiting.
I mean, seeing other teams how they place wards is also pretty useful as a support, isn't it?
I know a lot of players play overthrow though before.
Yeah.
Firstly, because you can leave at any time. Secondly, you're actually playing against someone else, so it's more demanding than playing like a demo match or a bot match or whatever it may be.
Advantage draft. Who do you think it's going to be? Who do you think's got the better drafting overall so far in the last couple of days? Here we go. Newbee. You think Newbee still?
Yeah, Newbee.
A little bit more
definitely
consistent with wings.
I felt pretty good about Newbee's drafts versus Virtus Pro. And I think Virtus Pro usually has very solid drafts.
Okay, what do you make of the bans, Jack?
You'll see Newbee unafraid to take a KP hero very early on. I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of Bat Rider thing to maybe either force out a silencer ban or try to set that up. That's been something that's very comfortable for them. Also, we could see Axe Slaughter, any number of directions they could go here, but taking out some of the comfort heroes, they don't want to deal with that Underlord for reasons we've mentioned. When you can run it in the fourth position, it's also potent because that guy doesn't really need items to be able to go out and do Underlord things.
Newbee go back to the Slaughter?
I mean, the KP Slaughter is a classic, but it has had a very bad time at this tournament. I have faith in Newbee over anybody else. Like any other team, I'd be like really hesitant about picking up the Slaughter offlane, especially early. But
so Rubik Drow for Wings, straight out of the box.
Wings were one of the first teams to popularize Drow. Like the Chinese team was actually the first one to just pick Drow like every single game when no one else really picked it. And I think Shadows is especially good because he's one of the players that transitions well into the later game. That's when you really struggle the most as Drow Rangers. It's easy in early game, you push on T1s, T2s, and after that, after you get Roche and you don't win, then it really gets testing. And he's the one that transitions well into Ags plus Maelstrom or whatever it may be, Silver Edge sometimes.
This opens up a lot of pace for them as well, because you see this one of their more comfortable type of lineups. You have the Drow or Moran or something else mid. Allows them to be a bit more aggressive early on, have a stronger laning phase generally across the board. And so if Newbee doesn't commit heavily to punishing that with a really strong offlane, you could see Wings try to leverage that.
We might see some of Blink's older heroes in the mid lane too. He used to play a lot of Storm Spirit, which we haven't seen at all this tournament.
I would love to see a Storm Spirit at least once.
But the root is like really, it's so difficult to play against.
I asked Blitz about Storm Spirit. I was like, because we were talking about the last draft and the Quap pickup last pick, and I said, any mobile hero has a huge advantage here. And I was like, what about Storm Spirit? And they didn't pick it up. And I asked Blitz about it. He's like, that hero's garbage.
Yeah, the roots
if Blitz says it is as well. Yeah.
They don't have any roots though, and it's been banned out a lot in the second phase. I wouldn't be surprised to see it, and a lot of teams have banned it against Newbee. VP banned it, I think, every single time in the second phase versus Newbee, especially with the lifesteal in the pool. I think it's a very likely possibility.
Yeah, Lifestealer is the second pick for Newbee. Second phase bans out of the way. Void.
It actually works pretty well with both lineups. Queen of Pain and Ember Spirit are both still in the pool if we want to get some more control over that 15-minute marker. Both those heroes, especially like Ember Spirit, he's transitioned more into early game focus because of this magic damage build that's so strong. Does mean he does have a little bit more of a drop-off at like 30-35 minutes than the old Ember Spirit, but the strength that's offered by his early game is well worth it.
For which team? Wings or Newbee?
I mean, I just think that either one of those could use a tempo controller mid, right? I don't think Ember Spirit fits into Newbee's lineup, but Quap could. And Wings, I think you're more likely to try and synergize with the Drow Ranger.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, there's still Invoker left in the pool though, which has fared very well versus the Ember Spirit. And I don't think Wings would pick it simply because I think they like to eke out every little advantage in their lineup. Like yesterday when they pick Magnus, they pick other melee cores. I think they would want to pick a ranged hero mid.
They're more likely to pick up like SF or Invoker or something to take advantage of. I mean, Quap still works.
They've been playing a lot of SF. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Queen of Pain, which Blink has been playing more recently, or another Marana here in a traditional core for him.
I think that's part of the appeal of the Newbee Lifestealer. Obviously, like the combination is pretty straightforward, right? But
remember, they used to pick Puck a lot too. When they had the Drow Ranger, they would sometimes run Puck off lane, which I think is a good hero to deal with the Slaughter Lifestealer. I think most of the mid heroes that are good with Drow Ranger just get destroyed by Slaughter Lifestealer. I think like Quap, SF, like if you get bombed, you're just dead. Then they don't have an SD on their team. They have no way to really save against that. So I think you need cores that are inherently not vulnerable to that combination.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Weehan Invoker in the last game save a number of times when he was in trouble.
Yep.
far as other supports go for wings, do you think Warlock fits into their lineup? It's like really nice counter initiation against Slardar Lifestealer.
Yeah, I can also see something like an Oracle, which is frequently a very comfortable pick for Y, and good at dealing with single target kind of burst damage.
Centaur too.
Haven't seen a single Oracle this
Yeah, he got nerfed a lot.
Yeah.
I like your idea of Centaur though, because he's such a great reactionary hero to Lifestealer.
I think they use that at TI, the Centaur Stampede. They used it yesterday too, but
very effectively yesterday.
Yeah, he counters the mobility of the team, especially when they use it against like Luna, when big ults and stuff come out. You can basically counter it with the Centaur Axe ult.
Newbee's
Well,
turn
there's
to
your ranged mid potentially.
So where do Newbee go from here? Do they need more heroes to get on top of the Drow Ranger? Do they want to like augment their physical damage with some sort of minus armor, Dazzle, Venge, something like that?
10
Better for
seconds
Roche?
remaining.
Do they need more team fight? We've seen a lot of different approaches
5
to the Drow
seconds
Ranger.
remaining.
One team was using Luna to try and equally push down towers.
Wings
I think-
Gaming's turn to pick.
I was gonna say Ogre, but I wasn't sure about the fact that like Ogre's a nice frontliner and everything, but you have this heavy initiation from the Slardar Lifestealer. You know, it's not like the Ogre is really protecting anything. So
It's
10
protecting their lanes, I think. I
seconds
think the Slaughter's like, we've seen him struggle really badly in the off lane, and I think they need a strong
5
hero like that
seconds remaining.
to make his laning a little bit better.
that's definitely true. But isn't there other heroes that could
Reserve
just as
time.
easily be able to protect your lanes? I'm thinking
Definitely.
like maybe Ogre Magi signals that they're going to be running like a squishier ranged mid that takes advantage of the Ogre Magi.
Maybe SF themselves, perhaps?
Yeah, SF themselves. Maybe they fit a sniper into the mix. Like sniper, any of those like really strong tower defenders are quite good against the Drow Ranger. Like Drow Ranger lineups are already all just about snowballing off of tower gold. So
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Ogre Magi, referred to affectionately by Wings as the bodyguard. Standing mid most of the time, and I wouldn't be surprised for them to do that to slow down the Mirana a little bit.
He has a build of more, for sure.
And there is the Oracle. First time
Newbee's
at
turn to
ESL
pick.
One Genting 2017.
It's a nice save for the Drow Ranger. I thought other teams would pick it up, but maybe the other teams thought that he was too nerfed. But Wings deem his single target save very valuable versus
10
the heavy single
seconds
target from
remaining.
Newbee.
I was just about to say like this is
5
actually one of the few
seconds
like really
remaining.
strong faceless void games, but Newbee
It's
are already
gone.
way ahead of it. They
Yeah,
beat 3-4.
Yep, they saw that second
Reserve
place.
time.
Yeah, especially if they're not going to play it themselves with that offlane already determined.
Yeah, and there's no silencer too. Silencer counters the Oracle, but now they don't have any AoE control in the team fight. So, do you think it's a good idea to move the Slaughter to like a support position, perhaps, or is it always going to be on KP? I think they need more team fight, and I don't know which role they're going to get it from.
I think you have to keep the Slardar Lifestealer combination. There's no way you put Slardar into a 4 position, especially with the Ogre.
There's still a Quap in the pool, and obviously you mentioned the comfort with SECC on that. If you protect him, have a good start in lane, he can kind of get to the back lines as well in those later fights, and gives you some AoE presence that the Oracle maybe isn't as equipped to deal with.
I think Quap's like mega squishy though. He shouldn't have that much armor. Doesn't build too much armor, and no heroes to actually help her out.
You can have a defensive support like Dazzle to be able to shore that up a little bit, to weave against these pushes. It's really hard to push into a preemptive weave, knowing that there's going to be this Slardar Lifestealer that can pop out on you.
I still think their like team fight is going to be especially weak though.
Wings
So it looks like they're
Gaming's
going
turn
to
to
TI
bat.
mid.
all the minus armor. Usually you'll see like SF or TA, I think, are the two most common minus mid armor heroes.
Yeah.
And their dire side, so that's going to be a big threat. I think Wings have to pick a lot more early game.
10
You've got a draw
seconds
lineup.
remaining.
Yeah.
You ban Wyvern. I've
5
like been
seconds.
hemming and
Good
hawing
call.
about it. It's like it's good versus Draw Ranger lineups, but it's also you can play around it.
You know what you need in a mid now, don't you?
Reserve time.
For
Who? We have our mids. Wait a minute.
No.
TA and
Paul's trying to throw us a curveball. Are you trying to say you want a Jakiro mid or
Absolutely.
Wings? That way you
Yeah.
can push down.
versus the Templar
Yeah.
Assassin. It
10
wouldn't be that
seconds
bad.
remaining.
Yeah, that'd be
okay
pretty
with
good.
Templar.
No.
So-
What?
5
That's not
seconds
terrible.
remaining.
Yeah.
It's like one of the matchups
Sorry,
that
so you,
you can
I thought you
actually.
said it was terrible. It's probably the only
Newbee's
matchup you can get
turn
away
to
with right now.
ban.
Yeah.
With
Oh, they
Jakiro
banned
in
the
the mid.
Coddle instead.
Or reaching back into the old bag of tricks,
Yeah.
potentially Venomancer or something as well could get
Wow.
you in a lot of trouble.
There's still Bat Rider left in the pool,
10
right? I think that
seconds
might
remaining.
be a pretty good pick for Wings. It's very good at dealing with TA though. TA is just like suffers immensely versus Bat Rider. Okay, never mind.
I think Wyvern also does another thing for you here. He pushes out waves pretty well because you're gonna have this like 5-man push, right? You want your other side lanes that the Draw Ranger isn't in to be relatively pushed in, and it's not like Lifestealer, like TA and Slardo, they're just kind of okay at doing that. Ogre Magi doesn't do anything for you there. Lifestealer doesn't do much. They felt like that was like it was the Wyvern or Coddle, one or the other.
Yeah, they banned one. Couldn't ban them both. So where do Wings go here?
What are we looking at for?
I liked your Centaur suggestion. Darkseer's still in the pool. Wait,
So is DK.
they are going a different.
They are going to go DK mid then.
Wow.
Interesting. Very
But
interesting.
man, Paul had something in his head that was right.
I was half right.
They
Makes a
actually were going
change.
for a mid last
Yeah.
pick instead of the Mirana.
Yeah.
So what is this?
Mixing it up.
Aggro Trilane?
Might be off-lane Mirana.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, we'll find out as we head over to our commentary team for the semi-final. Number 2 is about to kick off between Wings and Newbee. It's all yours, boys.
Thank you, Paul. We're here now with our final semi-final. It is going to be Newbee versus Wings. God's joined by Purge. How you doing?
Man, pretty good. This is going to be a really good game. It's interesting heroes. The meta's developing a little bit. I'm a little surprised to see the Winter Wyvern pick, actually. It's only been played against Meepo mostly, but could be really good against the Drow Aura here.
Yeah, I guess the idea is just having some AoE to de-push. There was a Coddle ban, so options were a bit more limited come final pick.
And they're a little bit one-dimensional in damage types too. Obviously they have like Mirana for nuke and stuff, but you know, against Drow Ranger, things like the Ice Block can really help.
Yeah, and for Newbee, they are very, like, as far as their cores go, all in on the physical damage. Minus some from the Slider as well as TA, and then they've got the Lifestealer. So throwing in some magic damage themselves with the Winter Wyvern does give them some kind of variety, but...
Do you like the Dragon Knight in the lineup? Obviously he'll get Drow Aura when he ultis, but...
It's one of those things where the off-lane Mirana is is a lot more unconventional. I've seen Wings do it before, but...
he has a hard time against TA mid, surely. Just base damage-wise.
It was a strategic pick more than a laning pick, as we'll see Wings make an early rotation. Gonna get the lift onto the light, but the arrow will not land. A quick rage from U9, and he'll be out of there. The Fortune's End not slowing him down thanks to the rage.
That was a hard one. He would have had to shoot the arrow before the lift even came out.
Yeah, unless it was like pulled into a DK stun, which would have... You've got to make sure you hit that DK stun, otherwise you're laning mid in a bad matchup with Dragon Tail.
Yeah, that would not be very useful. At the least, he'll be survivable against the TA. I think that's really what they wanted. Just semi-comparable damage. He should be able to last it okay with a Culling Blade. And then the occasional roam could help offset all of that.
It really is. You don't ever pick DK to win the lane. You often pick DK in poor matchups just because the hero is pretty much designed to be run in these 5-man kind of push strats where you come mid-game you just start picking towers. So.
Big bounty steals there for Newbee. Because of that 5-man rotation, they end up grabbing it on KP the Slardar. So good start for him. He's also got a poor man shield, and he's going to be against an Oracle. Oracle does have the Drow Aura at least, but should be a fairly even zone offlane thing.
Yeah. Level 1, you think he can get a bit out of this lane with some help? He definitely can, because he's got Trilane. This is...
Yeah, I feel like Slardar's been doing okay in lanes this week. I have a lot of faith in KP as well. Fantastic player. It's going to be a surprise thing, though.
They go with the stun first, and they're going to follow it with an Arctic Burn slow, and this looks like a potential early first blood. White gets hit by the crush, and he's down. Newbee strike first. The surprise of the two supports being down here. Catching out the Oracle, and they're going to look for a second. Another stun comes out. Ice has been hit by this, but there's no Arctic Burn this time around, and Faith going with the unconventional level 1 Fire Blast
to
kill.
It's pretty good value. I mean, the damage isn't amazing, obviously, but it gives you time to just right-click that your opponents can't react. So in some ways, you do get a lot of advantage there. So just an aggro Trilane out of this.
Yeah, this is one of the big things I've seen from Newbee when they like to pick the lifesteal, is that he's really good in these 1v1 matchups. He can farm against most heroes, even a ranger like Mirana. Will get a bit tougher with the Drow Aura, as well as now White immediately TPing up top. So Wings are looking to perhaps punish the fact that Lifestealer doesn't have any support here.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's so difficult for them to get a kill. Like you said, once they get a lot of Drow Aura, it's easier, but I'm gonna see an engagement here.
Yeah, they've gone in with the stun. The Arctic Burn follow. KP can't get close enough and does not have any points in sprint yet, so Shadow will scurry himself away and pop a salve.
This is just such a tough lane for Drow here. On the bright side, the camp tower blocks, so they could do some pulling, but if they do that, then Drow starts getting zoned and a little threat of death.
I mean, they're just running right at the Drow. They're zoning Drow away from the quote-unquote safe lane here.
Some standard stuff.
Get another Fire Blast off, and with the Crush follow-up, this is looking like a potential second kill. Ice goes down to Kaka. This Newbee offensive tri lane, it's been a staple for them. They did it earlier in the tournament with a Centaur and a Shadow Demon Mirana. We're seeing it again here with a Ogre Winter Wyvern. It's an unconventional tri lane, but it's paying off for them.
It's really tanky too. It's hard to kill any of these heroes. Four-man shield on Slardar, he's strong. Ogre is really strong, and Winter Wyvern, you know, maybe not the best tri-lane hero always, but works here.
He's being hit by the slow. The crush follows up. You don't need a sprint this time around, and Shadow has no points in Gust. There's no way out with the Splinter Blast. Another kill as Newbee get up 3-0, all thanks to this bottom lane.
And on the other side of the map, at least Dragon Knight's last hitting well. 10 last hits versus the 12 of Templar Assassin, so they're going about even here. Could maybe kill SC here. It's got no mana, but no follow-up.
He's got a salve still, and the bottle coming out of the courier means that it doesn't even really have to go too far. It feels like this Oracle doesn't have a good place in the laning stage. Yep. Went top, didn't really achieve all too much. Picked up a rune and then came mid, hasn't really achieved all too much. So it does really feel like Wings' lanes have just fallen apart here.
Yeah, it's really the Lifestealer pick is huge for reasons like that. Very similar to Jug. If you have any kind of combo skills, they just shut down your roam potential in a lot of ways. And that's something Newbee did amazingly in their first couple games, was just pick the perfect heroes to make sure that the supports didn't get effective roam.
Well, they're going for another dive down bottom there. Just flying on him with the great gust as Shadow.
It's not going to matter though. Rubik's still level 1 here.
TP support coming in. Wide's going to try and salvage the situation, but everyone's still very survivable on the Newbee side. They get the first kill, looking for the second. TP coming from Mirana. Faith Beyond looking to turn this one around. May find the kill onto Kaka, who's trying to chew his way through the trees. Has another Tango, but the right click from the Mirana will finish him off. Still just a 1-for-1 trade, and it took multiple rotations from Wings even to get that one kill. Yeah. Doesn't really feel like it's enough for them.
I think it's kind of okay though. Faith Beyond getting that kill does get him very, very close to Arcane Boots. He actually does have the gold now, so at the least he could potentially go back to the off lane and just start spamming out the Lifestealer, trying to force out Rage. Then they finally can get some kills.
It's got to make his way back up there, because for now Lifestealer does have an empty lane where he's free farming, so perhaps a bit of pressure on him early on, but it's now been alleviated thanks to that Mirana TP. And it does seem, as you say, Mirana wants to maybe head back up that direction, but for now it's kind of lingering around the jungle, not quite sure what Faith Beyond has in mind.
I think he's just waiting until Newbee gets back to the offlane, because I think they will continue the pressure. I mean, Drow Ranger is the hero to kill and the hero to prevent from getting 6.
So you catch Newbee by surprise by lingering around longer than you'd maybe expect.
Because all they need is Fortune's End, right? This is the combo they drafted. They just need to find a hero, and they're going to get one.
Yep, they've got Faith with the big slow. The arrow should be there to follow it up. It gets 5. Will hit Faith, but he's very tanky. I don't think they can kill this Ogre. They're going to lift him as well. He's only down to half HP, and instead it's high side. Getting crushed down. Hits 2, in fact. The Starstorm onto KP gets him down low. He's going to have to scurry himself way out of there. The Ogre helps get the first kill onto Kaka, and again, a 1-for-1 trade. It's a 3v4 though down here, so they're keeping the Mirana down bottom, giving U9 free farm on the Lifestealer. It still feels like okay-ish for Wings, but not quite good enough.
Yeah, I would say okay-ish. At the least, they're getting some levels, and that's one of the best things to do when you're actually behind, is just get some levels. It's free damage, really. It helps you offset some of the gold advantage that your opponents have. So, Faith Beyond getting that, I think it's a decent spot, especially if they get a kill with this rotation mid. Yeah,
it's Faith Beyond who's really had the good start as far as players on this Wings side. Of course, Dragon Knight CSing just fine. Actually, a couple of CS ahead of the TA. With a little bit of involvement from the Oracle earlier on, but very even mid-matchup.
They do have a ward spotting this out. Some Shadow in trouble again.
He's going to go for the TP out and will make it.
That was very close.
Needs to TP following the Gust. Make sure he gets both the 2 heroes with the stuns. And that'll get him out of there, but again, he actually TP'd all the way back home, so not even to his tier 1 tower. He's going to have to walk his way back out, and I think Newbee will be pretty happy regardless. They force him out of the lane and they rotate in the Ogre to get the bounty rune. He's freed up to either go back bottom, rotate mid. There's a lot of room for Newbee to continue this pressure.
So I think what is actually going to change up a lot of this tempo is really just how often Dragon Knight gets to pressure the mid lane. He's even got an Arcane Rune, an amazing grab here, just because he can lower the cooldown of his ulti when he does use it. But if Newbee just leaves the lane, he's going to take the tower really rapidly. So while Newbee's been more efficient across the map lately, if they do ever leave the Dragon Knight alone, it'll definitely upset any advantage they're getting.
Do you feel like the TA is just going to be forced to just stick to mid lane then and not rotate too much?
Well, he's actually just been jungling the last couple of minutes, just going from mid to the jungle camp, just because it's very safe. He's got to worry about getting ganked by arrows or Oracle or Rubik. Any kind of a smoke, it should be pretty straightforward if you have 3 right clicks and they have Drow Aura. Yeah. TA is going to go down.
Yeah, for now just taking this Granite Golem camp and probably head back towards mid if the DK pushes it out and really threatens his tier 1, but they're just going to see some return to this top lane as Faithfian is back up there, going for the phase boots, more of a right-click build with the Drow Ranger aura. I mean, speaking of Drow Ranger, not quite level 6 yet, but do you see Wings being able to start taking tier 1 towers as a group, or are they just looking to kind of keep things split up? Like you mentioned, the DK can just solo push the tower if the lane gets left alone.
That's definitely a good point. I mean, they're very good at lane push. We'll see if they can catch somebody here. They actually don't get it. No follow-up, unfortunately, for Wings, but they've got great lane push with Winter Wyvern, one of the best things he does. Even Ogre can kind of drive by, push lanes a bit, but their actual tower hitters, it's kind of just focused on TA in a lot of ways, and I don't know if he's going to feel comfortable doing that for long stages of the game. So while they do have a laning advantage here, they've got to start turning it into some fights. Otherwise, I just see Wings taking towers and slow pushing so much easier.
Yep. Or until they get something like a Blink Dagger on the slider, they're not going to be able to make too many plays, but KP is already halfway to that, so Newbee perhaps feeling confident that they may have the Blink Dagger before the troublesome 5-man push of Wings kicks in with the Drow DK.
And still haven't seen Dragon Knight transform just yet. Still the Arcane Rune though. That ult is going to be so good against TA at all stages of the game, just because of the Corrosive Haze, or whatever it's called. Corrosive Breath, excuse me. They're very good at breaking refraction.
The Green Dragon will be coming in. He does pop it in the mid lane with the Arcane Rune, and something you mentioned he's going to be looking to do, spamming the lane out. This will keep the TA kind of in lane as well, not able to kind of capitalize on the fact that as a TA you can jungle while taking the mid farm, and he's just getting free pot shots on the tier 1 tower, getting it down to about 800 HP, but it's bottom lane where...
Coming.
Yeah, DK's going to TP in, look for a punish, and he gets this done, does hit KP. Is there much of a save here with the heal from the Winter Wyvern? It's going to try to keep KP alive. The slows coming from the Ice Arrows off Shadow. It's going to be enough with another stun. That Arcane Rune on the Dragon Knight paying off.
He didn't use his wand. He's still got like tons of mana.
I mean, all his spells cost like next to nothing thanks to that Arcane Rune, so...
That was a huge pickup, really.
That was very value from him and a good rotation.
His ult's going to run out, and then he's going to have 20 seconds until his ult again. That's so big for the early tempo of the game, because even though he only slightly pressured the mid lane, the fact that he went to the safe lane now and picked off the Slardar, who's trying to save for Blink Dagger, reducing that gold, it's a huge play.
See Lifestealer go on to Wyatt at the top lane, but purges off the open wounds, and this looks like U9 just trying to push him off the lane a bit, try and get some extra damage on the tower if possible. He's just going straight into the armlet. A Newbee just going to be kind of slowing the tempo down until they have that Infest Bomb into the Blink Slider, or are there plays they can make before then?
I mean, it seemed clear that they're really pressuring the Radiant jungle area, but you know, the last couple engagements haven't gone super well, and I think that's just, like you said, because they don't have the Blink Dagger. They don't have a good way to initiate and grab kills at this point.
There's also a lot of Radiant vision around that bottom jungle, seeing everything. Another DK ulti will come out onto this mid lane, and it will force Newbee to rotate. They probably recognize that without an extra couple of heroes here to scare off the Dragon Knight, he will just get more free damage on the tier 1.
And while I like how good their heroes are on the tri lane now, Ogre Magi
Arrow hits TA at the bottom rune, and that means the haste rune, okay, gets denied by Kaka. Really nice play. The Dragon Knight may have overcommitted here. He gets stunned up. He's still very, very tanky here. STC charging forward, wants to bring down the Dragon Knight, lowers his armor with the Meld Strike, and it looks like Blink is going to be going down. What a play from Kaka. He gets the Cold Embrace as well onto the Ogre, keeps him alive. Eyesight out dead as well. STC with a double kill.
Did you see that? He meld dodged the Dragon Knight stun. Oh. It was insane. That's exactly why DK died. I thought he was going to throw it on. Where's the stun? Where's the stun? Finally, when he turns and does it, SC dodges it with meld.
And the initial play was from Kaka because the arrow, 5-second arrow into the TA meant that the Dragon Knight was going to pick up the haste rune first, but Kaka denied it from the high ground using his Arctic Burn, slows the Dragon Knight while denying the haste rune,
and
suddenly
way out of
DK's
position, right? Yeah, can't get out of the dangerous situation.
It was such a good heads-up play from Winter Wyvern, and that really punishes Wings there.
On the bright side, Drow Ranger finally gets a little bit of space in his lane, so level 7 now. I think the Frost Heroes are going to actually be pretty significant this game. Once Rage is down on the Lifestealer, all those heroes are very kiteable here. So as long as Drow Ranger doesn't get directly jumped on, I feel like Shadow can contribute a lot to fights.
Yep. KP now, off of that little fight, is up to 1900 gold. There's a reason Newbee feel confident first picking this slider. They're going to have a very fast timing, and they are looking to go in this bottom lane. Shadow will grow the gust, but can't TP because the Ogre is still there with the Fire Blast, and that's a straightforward pickup for Newbee.
TA is scary with Bloodlust, man. That was amazing attack speed.
they're not just going to have a Slider blink, they're going to have SCC rushing a blink as well. So we're going to be seeing multiple heroes with the ability to close gaps onto the Drought Ranger, the DK, the supports. Being able to jump on top of an Oracle, very important to force out like a false promise on himself mid lane. Does look like Kaka going to get caught out in an easy, kind of, not too influential, may get them a tier 1 tower here if they're quick. Kill onto Newbee's support.
But they're rotating over though, they want to stop this. I am so scared about the TA for Wings' side. Like, jumping on the back lane, even if you use Oracle ulti on somebody, he's still going to kill him, I'm pretty sure. There's just so much damage uphill right now.
Maybe reveals the blink in with a crush on the Ice Eyes, perhaps not too worried about the opponents knowing he has a blink. Ice Eyes going to go for the TP out. Can they burst him down in time? You betcha! SCC hits him with a big right click, and Faith Beyond just doing what he can to chip away at this bottom tier 1 tower. Does attack pretty damn hard with the Drow Aura, the Phase Boots. And also going for like all these cheap cost-effective items with the Aquil and the Wand.
On the bright side, they still can defend very well on Wings' side. It's difficult for Newbee to turn these kills into tower hits, because if you have a Dragon Knight sitting in the front with tons of armor, and you got it backed up with an Oracle, there's a very low chance that he actually does get killed despite all the damage. But at some point, if they keep farming, he will be threatened.
Nice TP out from Mirana will elude the first attempted Infest gank from KP and U9. And KP just going to blink himself in the lane, probably thinking that they can just work away on this tier 1 tower. If it's not going to be defended yet, Lifesteal will pop out and take this one with no heroes in the neighborhood. It is a smoke play from Wings. They're looking to take the mid tier 1 tower, or perhaps take over the dire jungle in return.
I think it's a smart play. I mean, they didn't show everybody on the bot lane for Newbee. They're expecting maybe one would be there. If they find the TA doing Ancients, for example, that'd be amazing. But yeah, there's the Observer where they don't actually see him.
So, good move from Faith to get out of there while it was still dangerous. And
do you think the mid tower is better for Wings there than the safe lane tower for Newbee?
In the past patch, I would, but one of the things I feel like with this new patch, losing your mid tier 1 tower doesn't matter as much on that dire or either side because of the shrines. You can now TP to the shrines, so you still have that TP access point. You don't get the vision, but being able to still TP out around that area, I think is means you don't lose control of your jungle by losing that mid tier 1 tower.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's close enough, right?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a similar trade between the two teams. Newbee ideally were looking for a kill, so I think Wings did a good job avoiding kind of getting picked off by the Slider blink, but at the same time, they didn't get anything out of their 4-man smoke. It's kind of that stage of the game where Wings have to stick together, otherwise Slider Lifesteal will find pickoffs, and then Newbee would rather find pickoffs than necessarily like fight into the 5-man, 4-man smoke units of Wings.
Yeah, it's got to be scary with this many blink daggers. Like, there's so many mobility options. And even some of all their supports are very squishy, could easily get killed by TA at this moment in the game, so they have to take good engagements or they're going to get super behind and it'll be a big tower slaughter.
And Wings don't really have any big team fight spells is one of the big problems. It's not like they can just say, okay, they're pushing and they're ganking us. Well, if they come in and play too aggressive, we punish them with a Ravage or a Vacuum Wall. They've got a Mirana as their off-laner.
Yeah, even the Rubik's not looking too amazing this game.
Oh, he rages it! He even used this stuff. I didn't know that was possible. Winter's Curse coming in from the side. Rubik getting caught by that one, but doesn't actually get hit by any of his teammates. The Blue Crest from KP is decent, but not great. Only catching the one. They take the tower, and it looks like Newbee going to fall back here, reset, heal up as the Cold Embrace goes out onto the Ogre.
Wings doesn't want to fight either. They're thinking about it, but they didn't feel super confident. I thought maybe Slaughter would get blown up there, but initiated without sprint, I think, or it actually got Fortune's end off. Like they debuffed it, I think, as well.
And the important thing was the DK stun on cooldown. You almost want to try and have the DK stun when Slaughter blinks in so you can burst him down. Because if he's sprinting, he's taking extra damage.
Yeah. That projectile difference for Dragontail makes a huge impact, especially against a Lifestealer, now that he can dodge it. It's already made the difference in 2 cases here.
See Kaka just chilling at bottom. When you're a support Winter Wyvern farming in this bottom lane all alone, like, you know the game's going well.
Well, that's the Winter Wyvern life, right? You just go somewhere and you cast Splinter Blast and you get at least 2 last hits every time.
And if they come gank you, you just Arctic Burn over some trees.
Yeah. And now they have to stay in their base. They can't actually move with all the heroes. Somebody has to be here to play.
I mean, if he gets ganked, it's like no big deal as well.
Yeah.
He's already spent some of his money on the cloak. Looks like there is going to be rotations towards bottom. It's a matter of how long will Kaka stays. There's the Arctic Burn, the TP, Arrow, will not find him.
Yeah.
And not only did he stay the perfect length of time, like, he doesn't even get caught.
That was really well done by him. space creation, and in the meantime, Newbee's just farming across the whole map. There's basically no jungle camps right now.
What can Wings do? They're not really... strategically, their draft hasn't worked. They were meant to try and 5-man push towers. Is there like a plan B for them?
I think they gotta just get a gank off. Wait until Newbee's a little bit spread out, get a good engagement. Engaging right now would be fantastic, but it's done so fast between TA and the amp damage.
Well, they've got numbers in the neighborhood, just the Drow Ranger missing. Perhaps a hero they want to have here before they fight. Having that Gust would be big. Arrow will be tanked up by U9 on the Lifestealer. Nicely played as they secure an Aegis.
They might be able to get a D-ward out of this at least, because it was obvious that the Lifestealer ran forward to block the arrow. Very clear that the ward would be on the cliff, so that's about the best thing they're going to get out of this.
Yeah, they've actually got the Sentry already in range. They just need some vision up there. Y is going to come in. He actually may get picked off. He's in such a awkward position there. The Moonlight Shadow being scouted out by that Dire Observer ward means unlikely to see Newbee get caught by surprise here.
It's a good trade though, losing a Sentry there just for breaking their smoke. Because if any support gets caught right now or spotted, TA is just going to two-shot her.
SCC, he melts behind the tower with the help of the Smoke of Deceit, putting himself in a position to not only help secure... Okay, he's actually just going to go straight to the Tier 1 tower, but in theory, if Wings come to defend that lane, he is in a great spot to surprise them.
Especially because they're a little underfarmed right now, so it's not like they have tons of gold to spend on sentries and dust, so...
This Drow is just looking criminally underfarmed at this point, only 4.5k net worth, still no Dragonlance complete as the push is coming. This is a push that once you get like Deso on TA, SMY on the Lifesteal, you could look to realistically threaten the high grounds.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, they're a little bit attack range limited, so it would give Wings opportunities to go in, but they don't have the best heroes for that. They're going to go in.
Quick crush on the Dragonite, he gets stunned, but in the backline, just the Winter Wyvern going in with the Templar Assassin gets this down. Meanwhile, Dragonite has been completely stranded. False promises, well, not really going to save his life there. The Winter's Curse, gratefully crushed. KP catches through on the backline to TA and Lifestealer there to clean up, and Newbee just running a train through Wings' base here. Facedown throws an arrow, but it is looking disastrous for Wings as an ultra kill goes with the TA. A rampage as SCC puts the nail in the coffin, and Ice with the poundage.
Could be huge.
Double rampage potentially. No, he's melded.
That was pretty sick. Nice kill there by Ice. At least the Aegis is down. That actually could change a lot here. Yeah. U9's got to run as well.
They did get a tier 2 tower here, Courage. I think I'm getting a bit ahead of themselves.
Okay, yeah. That was the fountain after all, right?
I think it's like, can we get the tier 3 tower in Rax now, guys? Oh, wait. we can't. There's a tier 2. And there's even a glitch. I mean, Newbee get a bit ahead of themselves, but they do so because they are so far ahead.
Yeah, that looked like a game-losing moment, but you're totally right. Way ahead of themselves. At least the Drow Ranger can sit farther back now with the Dragonlance, but I mean, you saw how dangerous it is. TA blinks forward, and if she's jumping on somebody and they don't immediately disable her, she's going to get a kill.
And the teamfight approach is almost just like divide and conquer. Newbee weren't even like focusing one target. They had 3 heroes on the DK, another couple like going for the back lines. That
was the best part about it though, because they jump on the back line. There's no disable to counteract them killing the Dragonite. Dragonite will take time to kill, but just kill them slowly and hit the back line. Slaughter stunned a couple times too. They're playing all their roles perfectly here.
See a 4-star pickup on SCC. Not even going. Okay, yeah, we'll be going into the Dragonlance Hurricane Pike following that.
He also bought that in the enemy fountain, so may have been a little bit of an impulse buy here. It's like, hey, we won. This is looking good.
And we'll see what Newbee's next move is going to be. They're going to be playing without the Aegis, and as you mentioned now, because that does give some breathing room to Wings, because not for diving as deep as they did, they could have taken the tier 2 tower and started chipping away in the tier 3 tower with an Aegis, but even so, I don't feel like the Aegis is a key component considering the sheer item advantage that we see on Newbee right now.
You know, I think that's maybe the first time I've ever seen SCC do something like greedy and aggressive and get punished for it. Like, yeah. It's so uncharacteristic for him. He's such a safe player.
The crazy thing is, if Meld wasn't stolen, he would have gotten a double rampage. So, he didn't have any detection to kill the Rubik, but... yeah, we'll see him get to work on another couple of towers here. This will reset the glyph, so Wings will now have at least a glyph for defending their tier 3 towers in theory, if that was going to be needed.
And the tier 2, man. Otherwise they're going to lose their shrines.
Do you think they can defend the tier 2
mid? Nope, it's gone. Might as well be.
Radiant scan, checking the tier 2 tower at top, making sure that Newbee aren't TPing back with a Slaughter to catch them out. I like that play. Make sure Wings get a free tier 1 of their own.
They did use the Dragonite ulti though, so hypothetically Newbee could just delay this by a bit.
Newbee ready with a infested Lifestealer into the
Dire's
slider,
top
KP.
tower is under attack.
See what he can find, but as soon as these heroes aren't showing around that tier 3 mid tower, Wings will probably just get themselves off the map.
SC is very farmed right now.
Unusual, I think yeah, defensive Moonlight. Oh, he had a creep wave on him, so he's like, oh, I'm in trouble. This creep wave gonna perhaps ruin me.
Bit of a greedy TP here by Kaka. They're gonna know which way he went. So clearly went either North Shrine or the tier 2 top. So maybe we can see Wings play around this. They're currently smoking, running the ball lane.
They're scanned. Oh, that's Dire scan.
Okay, Unite TPing.
That rage was just lucky enough to be used before the TP, but of course, stand still. Sure he gets out of there, and they are now back at the last tier 2 tower. With this, they can take those shrines you mentioned, and kind of set themselves up to break high ground probably with these second Aegis, or do you think they even consider an earlier time?
I think they might wait a bit. I mean, they're so far ahead this game. Dragon Knight's ultimate's on cooldown for about 18 seconds here, but why not just play around the map more? They're doing a great job controlling where Wings is going. Just keep your ward vision up, continue to farm some items like Lifesteal, for example. Not that far ahead of Dragon Knight right now, just because he spent a little bit of time hanging out with his friends. So I think it's just safer to continue your lead. You've got the map control, take that map control and turn it into farm on the map.
Yeah, Fabian trying to do what he can to finish off the Ag Scepter. We'll have it now at this bottom lane, and also get another tier 1 tower, so
that's
Wing.
A lot of advantage for Wings in the fact that they're so far behind.
Yeah, it's like making the most out of the situation they're in, but it's still like a 15k gold lead at this point. But the Ag Scepter gives them some ways to push out these lanes a bit better.
I mean, at the least, that's 2 towers they just got.
Yep.
You know, that's a good 300 gold to all their heroes. That could be a buyback in a fight here. I feel like Newbee maybe should have defended those a little bit better, but perhaps they don't feel as safe doing split pushes. Just because defending split push, just because Wings is more likely to power man.
Yeah, it seems like a just safer approach. Like, let's take out these shrines and let's get ourselves another Roshan. Who cares if we lose a tier 1 tower maybe along the way? You're still farming faster on the Newbee side, even with a tier 1 tower hero there being lost. AC will be the next line to pick up the Lifestealer.
That's a good choice. Did you see Wings just sank their boats and what's that over there? It was like a Chinese proverb or something. They do the shrines on purpose. That way they know they can't retreat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just click one.
Yep. Take him out.
Ice to flip in the boat. I like his Ghost Scepter pickup though. It's one of the only solutions you can get when you're this far behind against a TA, because you need to be able to just stop the damage. And on good players, they will be able to react in time.
Mm-hmm. And TA is already committed to the Eagle Song, so won't be going for a defusal just now.
I mean, her build's a little interesting to me. I mean, there is a pretty good amount of right-click on Wings' side, but there is also a lot of nuke. I feel like going for the Hurricane Pike build and now into a Butterfly, he's still pretty vulnerable to nuke damage.
He also got the talent tree with the evasion on the TA, which means there's going to be stacking evasion between the Butterfly and the talent, giving him a lot of negation against the right clicks across all 3 of those core heroes.
And the part is cool. That could actually really justify it if all of a sudden they have like 60% accuracy against him.
Yep, and you know there's no MKBs coming on any of these heroes anytime soon. The Drow has to go more defensive stat items before you can get MKB is like a late game item for a Drow. Same for a Dragon Knight.
Yeah,
so
they're not going to be ready for those for like 20 minutes, and that's a massive evasion advantage here.
It's like at this point you can't really kill the TA through unless she's alone, and then you've got the magic damage. But top lane, they are going to find a crush here onto the Mirana. And with the open wound, looks like Faith Bian should be enough damage from U9 to bring him down before the TP completes. They've got a second hero thanks to the Winter's Curse, and Ice.
That guy attacks real fast.
Yeah.
I thought it was Winter's Cursed. He's attacking so fast here.
But the Butterfly, the 25 attack speed talent, so...
And Bloodlust as always.
Oh yeah. Any other big talents kind of coming out for any of these players that you see? Your favorite 60 gold a minute talent on the Ogre?
Did he get that one? Oh yeah. Rubik also picked that up, but I think it's the right choice. When you're playing support Rubik, it's the way to go.
Yeah.
I don't know if the damage will work against that evasion anyways.
Yeah, I didn't think this Rubik's right-clicking all too much in a team fight.
Yeah. Ogre just lives, gets more gold.
Dragon Knight, oh gosh, he was so close to getting caught. Instead, it may be the Drow KP. He's right by these 2 cores. Okay, he's seen Shadow now.
And Dragon Knight's out too, can save him.
There's no gust to save you there. Dragon Knight needs to, just TP himself out, so.
He did buy out as well. Looks like he's going to finish a SNY, I guess. Can you do a Hurricane Pike? Oh, you can queue up 2 items, that's cool.
Yep. So, see just pure survivability coming out.
It seems that Wings is really just focused on split pushing right now. They haven't even really tried that hard to get kills. They're just trying to push the lanes out to limit Newbee's ability. This is a rare moment where they actually are going for it. But
this is like I've seen Wings. Well, this is like the MVP type smoke where it's like you've got a hero dead, you're missing an ultimate, but we're gonna smoke up 4v5. Despite the fact, like, this is like the smoke you're just not expecting.
Yeah.
You're Newbee, you're breathing like, okay, they're not doing any plays here, we just killed Drow, but you're smoked as 4. And they almost got there in time to find Slider or Lifestealer, but it would have been a bit awkward with the high ground advantage on Newbee's side, but...
Yeah, they would have needed Blink forward from Dragon. If they had the ward there, they absolutely would have gotten the kill. Maybe now?
Oh,
yeah.
Smoke popped at a very awkward time there, and...
It's so difficult to be aggressive like that with a smoke when you don't have wards on the map, because you don't see them passively farming. If they just had a little vision there, that's a dead life stealer.
This is really a right idea and a good smoke to use because it is going to catch them by surprise with the Drow dead, and even when Drow respawns, you know the Drow isn't with that smoke unit, so Newbee very split on the map just from playing the farming efficiency game, still waiting for Roshan. I mean, they've had that trap there, so they probably, I imagine the team talk is just wait for Rosh, then we go chip at high ground.
Yeah, it's a lot easier that way. Tia could use another survivability item. He's queuing up an Orchid, Bloodthorn actually, but I feel like maybe a BKB is a bit safer. But we'll see if he changes up later.
Well, Lifesteal's got the completed AC now, so another Infest, but once they see Roche back up, they may just make a beeline toward, they do see Roche back up, they may make a beeline towards that.
Their gem is up as well. I don't know if you've had that a bit, but only one ward on the map right now.
Yep. Roche comes flying out, and we'll
Sniped.
hit the Ogre. Some stun duration for his Dota buff stats.
That's fantasy points right there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the Starstorm Mirana. Goes for the Ghost Scepter before the Blink, just want to have that survivability as well. Uh-oh, they've caught Rubik. They've refracted will
Okay.
do a little. The Ghost Scepter will do a little bit. And actually comes in with a BKB, trying to turn this one around. Nice Sight is still alive despite, okay, not for long. The TA comes in, takes that one, won't be able to get the second immediately because of the false promise, but he's already onto a new target. The Mirana gets low thanks to the amplify damage, and TA is just wreaking havoc. They've stopped one at the bottom lane. It's the Drow Ranger with a just casual Winter's Curse. U9 is trying to bring down Shadow before the TP completes, and the multi-cast will stop it. Onto the high ground we go. Wings will just call it. Who needs an Aegis? You can roll through Wings that way. 21 kills to 4.
Jack said that Newbee has been playing a lot of games, and it's just been so obvious the whole tournament. They stomped in the group stage. They are dominating this match as well. Their lane setup was amazing. It didn't look like it was going to be anything super fancy, but all of a sudden the aggro tri-lane was just consistent and amazing. And they got to the lane fast. It was a little unpredictable. That first kill